Worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right, true indeed. Um, I'm trying to work on the lighting here. The lighting is a bit bright. We're going to see if we can't get that under control a little bit better. But thank you all. I love you all once again for checking us out, chiming in. I see somebody in the chat here. Thank you so much. Welcome. Man, I love you all, and I truly appreciate all of your feedback and for helping to build the worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. True indeed. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure when you come on the channel that you check out the community section, right? A lot of very important and distinct information there, as well as on my Twitter feed, right? And certainly make sure you check out all my music on all the platforms. Um, and certainly, please check out the book. Please get the book. Uh, my album on the platform, on the music platforms, is PLR New Paradigm, and the title of my book, available on Amazon right now, is Peace, Love, Respect. This is the new way. All right. So again, thank you all. Let's dive right on in. This is the seventh installment of the 10-part series. Um, what we are, right? And that's basically the focus of the series, folks, for us to dive into what we are and really understand that and break that apart in a segmented way, right? Okay, so today we want to talk a little bit about intelligence and consciousness in the human body, right? Um, in the human corporeal form, right? Remember that we incarnate from non corporeal to corporeal form. And in our corporeal form, we find a lot of interesting things as we delve in that sort of in layers, right? Um, and going from we talked about our energetic centers in the body last week in the chakra system and the auric body system. Um, let's talk a little bit about the intelligence centers in the human being, right? Okay, so let's start off with the obvious one and the one that most of us associate with intelligence within ourselves, that is in our head, right? Our brain, with the sort of culmination of the nervous system, right? Um, and the countless neural connections that there are going into your brain, right? Through what they refer to as the brain stem. Um, so first of all, what does that do, right? That just that connection alone provides sort of an information highway, right? Within your body for information to be gathered and relayed from anywhere in the body, right? And we know that the body is laced with uh, sensory, not only sensory organs, but just different sensory systems, right? So that's a lot of constant information that is gathered, and that's being fed to the brain through the nervous system, right? Primarily. um, I don't want to get into a future video, but next week's video we'll be getting into a system that is here's a good way to describe it. Your brain and the way it has direct neural connections, with all of the plethora of connections through the nervous system, is sort of like your hardwire system, right? Um, versus the system we'll be talking about next week is like your wireless system, but we'll leave that. We'll leave that for next week. Um, so yeah, your brain gets all that information from everywhere in your body via that information system we call your nervous system, with countless connections ending in or we'll say resulting in your brain, right? So, and your brain has several different sections, right, with their own independent functions, cortexes and so forth, right? Where different different groupings of bodily functions are regulated, right? Um, so there's a great deal of intelligence that is originated and that ends up in the brain. Um, and there's in a lot of information transmitted, obviously, from the brain out to the rest of the body, still via the nervous system. Um, so most of us picture our brain as like our ultimate sort of supercomputer running our body, with our body being like the robotic system, right? Or if you just want to say the brain is the boss of the body, however, that's the way most of us generally look at the relationship between our brain and the rest of our body, right? And that, for in many instances, in most cases, in for the most part, is accurate for the most part. Um, so it's very easy for us to depict or to visualize and see our brain as a center of intelligence in our body, right? Again, not only do we have a lot of processing of information that happens in your brain, but also you have thought origination that happens in your brain as well, right? And information origination that happens in your brain as is transmitted out to the rest of your body. So a lot of intelligence and activity, with intelligence in your body. And there is consciousness there, folks. Let's not forget that consciousness is awareness, right? I'm conscious because I'm aware. I'm aware of this human experience that I'm having right now. And certainly your brain is very aware of your experience and constantly, in fact, receiving information relevant to your experience. So certainly we can see the brain as a center for intelligence and consciousness, right? Okay. So that's the first and probably, like I said, easiest center of intelligence and consciousness for us to comprehend or relate to, or easily understand, right? Because we refer to it in those terms and have grown up and been taught to refer to it in those terms. Okay. Um, but the next is one that most of us may not quite think of in those terms, which is your gut, right? Um, your stomach, folks, has many of the same cells that are found in your brain. There is literally intelligence, there are intelligent cells in your stomach, right? Um, Also, so that's one very excuse me, very important similarity between your stomach, your gut area, and your brain, right? In terms of recognizing them as centers of intelligence. Another thing that your stomach has in common with your brain is that it is also um, having a plethora of neural connections, right, which provide its own information highway and is also receiving information from various other areas of your body, from all throughout your body. And that information ends up through those countless neural connections in your stomach, right? Um, and you, if you think about it, you see that, right? Like when you're in cold, right? Cold temperatures, even when it had you haven't been in cold for, let's say, a really prolonged time, where your organs would be beginning to drop in temperature. Just when your skin, your epidermis is um extremely cold, that can affect how you feel in terms of your stomach, right? I know it happens for me. I can, especially if my stomach is empty and I'm into all of a sudden a really cold area, I can get like a slight, not a stomach ache, but like a little twinge in my stomach, right? And when you are, here's another more abstract thing to think about: when you are situations where you might become nervous, right? You literally feel that in your stomach, right? What do we call it? Butterflies in our stomach. That's actually neural connections feeding information to your stomach, and your stomach giving you a physical reaction, right? There, folks, there is a lot of intelligence in your stomach. Your stomach also sends, similarly to the brain, information out to different parts of the body, certainly to the brain, but other parts of the body as well. It certainly communicates directly with the organs in the digestive system, for example. So, um, already just in that, you can see the similarities between your brain and your stomach as centers of intelligence. And there's consciousness there. There is awareness, folks. Like I said, awareness to our human experience, that we are alive, and being aware to that experience resides in your stomach as well. And actually, the latter of the examples I gave was sort of touching on that. You're nervous, or that's an abstract thing, but it's a real source of stimuli for you, right? And you can see that played out in the reaction that you can actually have in your stomach. Um, Also, if you pay attention and learn to pay attention to it, and this is something my mother early on in life really taught me to do, is to listen to, pay attention to your gut. You get premonition in your gut, right? You get a feeling when things are about to happen or transpiring that may be important to you in one way or the other. Um, or should say, in one way or another, you get a feeling in your gut. You certainly do have um, your sixth sense, right, or your premonition in your gut, in your stomach, right? Um, Also, that correlates with the second chakra, or your navel chakra. So we know that that's where that happens. Um, Definitely, if we think about the intricacies of it, and how it affects us in our lives, we can easily recognize our stomach or our gut as another of the centers of intelligence and consciousness as well, right? So we've identified the brain or the head area, and we've identified the stomach or the gut area, right? Okay. Um, the next, which I could have in order went to previously, but I wanted to save this um, for a couple of reasons. The next is the heart, right? Now, the heart, like the stomach, shares with the brain those intelligent cells. There is intelligent tissue that is very similar to the tissue that is in your brain in your heart as well. Okay. Um, there are also, just like how the stomach had in common with your brain, a plethora of neural connections in your heart, right? Countless neural connections. So you again you have the same similarities as with the stomach and with the brain. You have the similarity in tissues, in the intelligent tissue that is actually in your heart. So all three that we've identified have and are made up of similar tissue, right? The heart's not just a dumb muscle. I know there's someone somewhere that's saying your heart's a muscle. Yes, it is. It is, and there's muscle tissue there, but there is also um, highly active neural tissue there as well, right? Just like there is in the stomach and in the brain. So there's that in common, and there's also the plethora of the countless neural connections that there are in your heart, similar to your stomach and most certainly the brain, right? So there are those criteria for intelligence centers, and there's awareness there as well. And the awareness um, is in fact multidimensional. Ah, this is why I save the heart, right? Um, so many of us know and understand that our heart is literally what creates our biosphere, right? Which is our electromagnetic field. And if you think about it, it only makes sense. You have blood constantly pumping through the heart, being pumped by the heart. Blood has a high iron content, a metal, right? You've got that circulation that is in itself that movement of that metal in the patterns in which it circulates through and the circuits. They're not just patterns. Actually, there are circuits, right? Within the heart is what's creating that energetic flow, right? Not to mention that you have other energies as well in the heart, electromagnetic energy itself being produced in the heart, as well as certainly um, thermal energy. Okay. Um, so a lot of swirling energies in the heart. As the biosphere, as your electromagnetic field does extend from your heart center, as does your auric bodies, right? The different layers of your aura. All right. Um, both of which at a certain layer are multidimensional, right? Um, so you have information, you have energetic information that is coming just specifically from your biosphere's interaction with the quantum field, right? That's multidimensional right there. And again, also, as I mentioned, your different layers of your aura or your auric bodies extending from the heart center. So a lot of multidimensional interaction that happens with and associated with the heart center. All right. So certainly consciousness or awareness there, and a lot of information on different levels that is being fed to you and relayed from you through your heart center, right? This becomes very important when it comes to manifesting, particularly if we're talking about electromagnetic manifesting, right? And you can go back to previous videos that I've done on manifesting, particularly how I talked about the difference between electromagnetic and magnetic manifesting. So in this case, if we're talking about electromagnetic manifesting, the heart plays a major role, right, in your not only your ability to manifest and to transmit out to the quantum field, manifest in that way, but what that actually looks like and how it plays out, right? Because your emotions are processed through your heart, right? Um, like I said, there's a lot of information and a lot of processing that's going on and happens from and within and emanating from your heart center. Um, a lot of activity there, folks. So, um, your heart as well, and what we identify as your heart center is most certainly an easily identifiable center of intelligence and most certainly consciousness. And now that we delve into it a little bit, consciousness on many levels, right? On a in a multi-dimensional aspects. Um, so yeah, that's very important, folks, for us to sort of develop that picture of these centers in our body, of not only intelligence but of consciousness as well. That is very important in understanding who we are and how we function, right? Um, but staying on the subject of intelligence in the body, not only are those centers there, but I also mentioned the some of the systems, but the systems, the information systems, sort of the information highways that feed each of those three centers, right? Um, and it is I would say the highway, if we want to talk about right, the transferring um, electromagnetically, I might add, of that information through the nervous system. That's very easy to picture it like as a highway. But a very important part of that system throughout your body is your cells. Folks, the individual cells of your body have intelligence, right? They actually have their own um, sort of intelligent center, right? It's so the symmetrical layout of the human body is so beautiful because it's almost like if you look at the cells, there's a microcosm. They're a microcosm of what your human body, your entire body of is, right? I just talked about the three different centers of intelligence in your human in your body, right? in the totality of your body, and you have different centers of intelligence and energy activity, just like the mitochondria, right, within the cell. It's quite uh, it's quite poetic, right? The fractalization within our own bodies. At least to me, I find that fascinating. So anyway, you have these different centers of intelligence and energy activity, energy production, even in the cells as well. And they are a part not only of collecting, a huge part of collecting the information that's to be relayed to these three centers, your brain, your heart, and your stomach. Uh, in the first place, even gathering that information has to happen at the cellular level, right? So there's a need for neural connectivity and neural activity within the cell. That information has to be accurately gathered and at least to some degree processed before it can be transferred and transmitted out into the information highway to the three centers within your body. Now, conversely, it also receives each cell in your body also receives information from the three information centers, right? Along the information highway. So your cells of your body, folks, are a very, very important part. If you want to even label them as the fourth center, but it's a body-wide center, right? Um, your cells are that very important fourth part of the system, of the multifaceted system of intelligence and consciousness within your body. Again, to me, it's fascinating, right? Um, I it just I get the same fascination that I had as a child in science class right right now, and particularly about certain subjects, it just inspired that kind of excitement and thirst for learning. So anyway, call me science nerd, man. What can I say? I love it. I love it. To me, it is so exciting. But this all is very important in us ascertaining and really forming an accurate picture of what we are, how we function, folks. The different multifaceted layers to how we function, the different systems, how they coordinate with one another. Um, Very important for us to understand that. So we talked about the three major centers, and then also the very important fourth aspect of that system are your actual individual cells, folks. Um, and there's, like I said, there's not only intelligence, but there's consciousness there as well. Um, Certainly, as that's what's relayed to these centers in your body. Um, Man, we are fabulous. That's what we are. We really are magnificent, folks. Never sell yourself short. The more we understand what we are, how we operate, um, and all this is happening with this invisible electromagnetic field that is emanating from us, right? And is visible under the right conditions or slash equipment. Um, Man, it's just we're electric. We are magnetic. We are magnificent. That's what we are. We are magnificent. Uh, so yeah. Any comments that you have or questions that you want to put in the chat, or I see there's still someone in now. If you have a question, let me see if I can open it up, or if you have a comment, let me see if I can open it up. Please share any. Sorry, folks. Never been the fastest typer. I'm a pecker. I just get on and peck away. All right. So Q&A. I'm a go 3 minute, or at least I'm gonna go to the 33-minute mark. We're just about to hit now the 31-minute mark. So 2 more minutes. I'm gonna open it, leave it open just to see if anybody puts a question in. But thank you very much for whoever that is in there. I have a feeling who it might be. Good new friend who I'm looking forward to seeing soon, down in West Virginia. And certainly thank you for the like, folks. Let's if we can try and get the likes up in everything. The videos, the live streams, all that, because that's what goes into that algorithm that they make, and is really important to bolstering up the channel's visibility. So please do that. Certainly, please do that. And again, really tell everyone tell some folks you don't know about the channel, about the Twitter feed, to go on the comment section, excuse me, the community section in the channel when they visit. Certainly to check out all my music and to check out the book on Amazon, right? Um, yeah, folks. So thank you all so much. I love you. I'm really enjoying this format with the live stream. So we're going to keep doing that. I hope this is enjoyable for you as well. Just to let you know some of the things that I'm doing outside of this right now, I am actually finishing up the editing process on my second book, right? That I'm going to be releasing rather soon here, potentially the end of this month, maybe sometime early next month. We'll see how that goes. So look for that. And then soon after, probably either late spring or sometime in the summer, look for me to be releasing my next album as well. Going to be getting into the studio, putting a lot of time into the studio right after I've finished up editing with the book. So those things we're going to be doing. We're going to also try and see how quickly we can get the audio version of my books together and get that available. We're going to be establishing a website soon to offer all the content, the books, the music, uh, videos, live streams, everything. So yeah, folks, we're going to keep moving, keep this going. We got to get to that goal of 444 subscribers. I'm telling you, I know it. Like I know a few things that once we get there, we're going to grow exponentially to the 4444, right? So please help me and let's do it. Let's build and get to the number of 444 subscribers so that we can powerfully exponentially grow to 4,444 subscribers. And that's going to be a beautiful leap. It'll be beautiful just to watch that happen exponentially like that. All right, folks. I do see somebody else in the chat though for in the stream. Thank you for checking it out. I love you all. I appreciate you. I don't see any questions. I don't know if there's something. Let's see. Drop down for questions. I don't see any questions. Okay. So just remember that you can always put a comment or question in the chat. and I can answer it later, right? And we can just communicate like that, and I can even say something about it in the next live stream. So please do that. Otherwise, thank you all so much. I love you all. This has been the seventh installment of the 10-part series, What We Are. And of course, I always am Big King Sadiq. I love you, and I'm out. Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq. I'm out.